she scratched me. I had like a big cut on my collarbone. It was like meat deep. What's good, Nessa gang? Welcome back to my channel. If you're a new viewer, make sure you hit that subscribe button and be a part of Nessa gang, because Nessa gang is the littlest gang of all gangs. First of all, I just want to address my crazy hair. Y'all been telling me that I need to be natural. Like, Vanessa, we love your natural, be natural. So this is what I'm working with. I might end up adding some weave later. Depends on how I feel. But yeah, so my last video was a mukbang, and I was telling y'all how I got kicked out at 17 and like a little gist of my life and how I moved a lot of times, and y'all kept asking me for the little stories that I said I would save for later. So what I decided to do, because when I tell stories, I like to tell details so y'all could feel how I feel. Y'all could feel like y'all there and imagine it in the back of your heads. I just decided to tell y'all a story about every place where I moved to and how I kind of got there, if you feel what I'm saying. When I wrote down all of the places that I've been to and I counted it and tried to organize it so when I told you guys the stories it would make sense, I wrote down over 17 places that I moved to, which is ridiculous. I am only 22 years old right now, so that's 5 years moving 17 plus times. So I'm gonna start this video. I'm gonna start off from the beginning, giving you guys a little bit of history up until what happened, and then I believe I'm gonna do episodes or parts to it. So like, I'll tell you guys how I ended up getting kicked out. Then the next video would be the first place I went to, how that went out, and then the second place, and then the third place will be, they'll all be separate videos. So let me know if you like that idea. I just didn't want it to be like a super like 2-hour long video because I do talk a lot. It's kind of hard to do my makeup and talk at the same time, but I'm gonna try. My mirror's right here, so that's what I'll be looking at, or maybe the viewfinder, I don't know, whichever one I like the best. But make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up for the bravery, because I'm basically about to tell you guys my life story from age 17 to now. First things first, I'm going to moisturize my face. I already washed it. A big mistake that people do when they do their makeup is that they don't moisturize, and I learned that the hard way. When you learn how to do your makeup, you're like, those steps are unnecessary, like they're doing too much. But no, I actually tried it. I was like, now I see why I look so ashy or cakey, or why it looks so dry. So for my under eyes, because I feel like I got like slight dark circles and it's like a little bit darker right here, I use this Ambi's Fade Cream. I use A&D ointment for the rest of my face. So anyways, let's start off with how I got kicked out when I was 17. Basically, growing up, my mom, she went through a lot. Like, my dad didn't treat her right. She went from boyfriend to boyfriend. She had me plus 2 other kids that she adopted, which were actually my cousins, but legally they're my brothers and sisters, I guess, since she adopted them. But they're special needs and they need like a ton of care, like a handful, you feel me? And she worked a lot, but you know, it still wasn't enough. She needed government help, whatever. I never really saw her. I don't know how to describe our relationship. I don't know. I guess I could say we didn't really have a relationship because like we never talked. My mom was really personal. Like, she didn't really tell her feelings. She didn't really explain how she felt. All I know is that she was doing her thing. Never really explained herself. It's whatever she says. She says no ifs, whats, or buts. No is no, okay? So after my father, I think they split up when I was, I want to say 10, 11. Water break. So when they split up, eventually my mom was dating again. Obviously you can't be by yourself for the rest of your lives. I mean, you can, but whatever. So she started dating, and of course I did not like the thought of that. Oh, I'm using Pure's correcting primer. She started dating. I didn't like it, but it was whatever. It was what it was. But when she started dating, hell broke loose. All right, I didn't like this dude from the jump, which is actually my little sister's dad. But I did not like him. I just thought he was just too much. I was sleeping with my mom until I was in like 6th grade. I was afraid of the dark, which I still am. But when he came, I had to like actually sleep in my room. I hated him for that too. But me and him got into it, and my mom mom. I don't know if she was afraid of like being alone or whatever, but she just always on the guy's side. Like, it was so frustrating. We always got into it. I was a daddy's girl and I was always like talking to him. I was vent to him, which I think is what caused problems between me and my mom, why we wasn't so close, because I started telling him everything, what was going on in the house, what the boyfriend would say to me, do to me, how she was always on their side, how I never had a say or whatever. So yeah, me and my mom kind of drifted apart. So yeah, for my eyebrows, I just got this Take Two Cosmetics brow cushion thing, and I just been using it from the front of my eyebrows. Yeah, so my dad would always get on my mom about it, even confronted the boyfriend a couple times, which I was young, I didn't know what was going on. But yeah, he was living in Chicago. I was born and raised in Michigan, so I was with her in Michigan, and he didn't like it, so I guess he would threaten him or whatever was going on. The boyfriend started being nice, but he was a rebel, so he would say slick stuff here and there. But anyways, me and the boyfriend never got along. I just got tired of him. Why is my boyfriend here? I'm trying to make a video. But anyways, I felt like she always put other people in front of me. She never believed me, and so our relationship just... Okay, I'm back. My bad that I cut it off so randomly, but I had to put on my eyebrows and my eyeliner because that takes the longest to do. But where was I? I'm using this Take Two Cosmetic Liquid Illuminator and Max Studio Sculpt Foundation. Okay, so I never liked her boyfriends. I just did not like him. He thought he was gonna come in my life like a daddy. He was never a dad in the first place until my mother made him one, and that's what made me and hers relationship bond like even worse, because I was like, you gonna have a baby by him? You just met him. You moving way too fast, shorty. Like, no. And then she giving him all her time and attention. Like, I don't even get attention, you feel me? She kept her pregnancy a secret from me, which made me so angry. I ended up finding out because by her computer there was like these cup stand things, and for some reason I think I knocked it over, or I went through it because there was a gap, and there was a freaking pregnancy test, a positive pregnancy test, and I was like, she never told me. I just kept waiting and waiting. Now, like, my little sister's my everything. But anyways, around this time is when I discovered writing. I started writing in a diary, journal, whatever you want to call it. Everything that was happening to me, because I didn't have anybody to talk to. I just know that I was a daddy's girl, and I loved him so much, even though he never talked to me. He never called me. He kept making up excuses. I always wanted to live in Chicago with my sister and my dad, because they were the ones where I felt safe, comfortable, and like had fun with and stuff. But anyway, I think my mom also pushed me away too and stopped telling me stuff because she knew that I told my dad everything. She didn't want my dad to be all up in her business, because as soon as I told him something, he would call her and like check her, I guess. She'd be like, why are you telling him? This is my business. I'm trying to have a life and blah blah blah. But I didn't care because I was mad at her. Like, you don't ever talk to me, and then you bringing these guys into this house. I got tired of it, and then eventually she had the baby. And like, I loved my little sister to death. Like, besides like financially, I feel like I raised my sister. I always had her. I guess I spoiled her or whatever. Like, I was always holding her. She was like my best friend. Like, I loved her so much. My little sister always cried for me. Like, she did not want to stay with anybody else. Because of this, I never got to really go anywhere because I had to put my sister to sleep, or she'd be like, I'm not trying to hear her cry, like, you can't go nowhere type shit. And that used to make me so mad because I'm like, can I just have a childhood? My mom never wanted to let me go outside, so that's when I started like writing in my diary and stuff, and also arts and crafts. Like, I was really into arts and crafts and stuff. Let's fast forward. She finds another boyfriend, which so happens to be somebody who she knew for years on years, and from jump he was cool or whatever, but then I started seeing him pop up at the house too much, and I'm just like, what's going on? But I was too busy trying to go outside, you know, to chill with my friends and stuff, because why not? I was getting good grades, y'all. I was getting A's and B's to the point where my mom was like, I'm not going to parent teacher conference. I already know you did good. Congratulations, good girl. And you know, that kind of hurt me, because it's like, we already don't have a relationship. You already don't really talk to me like that. Like, don't just say congratulations, good job, and that be it. Like, I work hard for my A's and B's, you feel me? So at that point, I just kind of stopped. I kind of just didn't care. I was like just in school. I went to school with baby kids after I transferred, after we moved, and they didn't ever do their work. So after my mom kind of was just like distant, I I just was like, fuck it, basically. But I was still a good student. Like, I've never got detention. I never, like, got a phone call home. Like, I was still a good student. I just didn't care. And sometimes I skipped, but I started getting C's and D's, and I think I even had an E. There wasn't F's, it was E's. Around that time is when she announced that that guy that kept coming around was her boyfriend. I already had hate towards him because of that. And he started stepping in as a father figure, like, fast. He was trying to tell me when to come inside, and I was like, dude, my mom said that I could be out at this time. And he'd be like, no, it's what I say. Like, that type of controlling. And I was like, oh, hell no, you're not gonna come in here and try to act like my daddy. We don't even got any type of relationship right now. Like, I don't know you, you don't know me. And me and him got into it, but unlike the other guy, my dad did not scare him, I guess, because he was bold, y'all. He said whatever he felt. Now I'm going to take this pure stick. It's a foundation stick, but it's like a dark color for my contour, and use it on my contour. But anyways, there's this one time where we ended up moving again. He was like an alcoholic, y'all. He had a beer like every freaking day, always drinking. We did not like each other. We was always butting heads, because remember I told you my mom adopted kids, but they were special needs, so they wasn't really able to speak up for themselves and stuff, and they were like really bad. So he would always get on them, and I'd be like, you're pathetic. I didn't like that, but at the same time, I was trying to worry about myself. All I wanted to do was go outside and have fun. Like, all my friends literally lived next door to me, so the fact that I couldn't go and I was like on lockdown, that's what we called it, I was pissed. Like, I did not like him. But there was this one time where my little sister was with me in the room, and she was like, I'm hungry or something. She's like, I was like, okay, go downstairs and grab something. She went, and all of a sudden I hear crying and yelling, and I'm just like, it's just the instinct to go figure out what's going on with like the people you love. So I went downstairs, and my mom's boyfriend is over here yelling at her, like screaming, and she's crying. Like, mind you, she has asthma. Like, if she start crying too hard or something, she's gonna like have an asthma attack. Me being older and like being able to like fend for myself, I was in high school at this time. I was like, what are you doing? I told her to come down here and get it. He was like, no. Who are you? You're young. You're just a kid. You're not gonna run over me. Like, if I tell her no, it's no. And I was like, dude, okay, move. So I tried to walk past him to go in the kitchen to grab it, because he had her on the couch yelling at her, and I was like, okay, whatever. He was like shoving me, like he grabbed my upper chest and he was like pushing me back, and I was like, what are you doing? And he was like in my face, right here, spitting in my face. And he was like, stay in a child's place. You could talk to your mom crazy, but you're not about to talk to me crazy. Mind you, I could never talk to my mama crazy. Like, she would smack me just if she thought I was talking back, which I never really did, so I never understood it. I would just try to prove my point. Who else experiences that? They think you talking back, but you're just trying to respond to what they're saying. They always said I was disrespectful, and to this day I don't understand what they're talking about. Like, I was a good student. I was not like all the other kids in my class that was out smoking and drinking and going to parties. I never even experienced a party until I was 16, 17. But anyways, so he started pushing me around the house, and eventually he pushed me to the stairs, and he pushed me so hard and I fell on the stairs, and I started crying out of frustration. I was like, come on, Gracia. And he was like, no, she not going nowhere. So my sister's screaming because now he's hurting me. I was like, I'm finna call my mama right now. Why are you treating me like this? And at this point, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be the situation. Finally, like, I got a situation that's big enough to tell my mama, and she gonna cuss him out and be done with him or put him in his place. I call my mom. She does not care. She's like, what's going on? She's on his side. Like, Vanessa, but why would you? I don't even know what her excuse was, but she was on his side, and I was like, are you serious? You had one job. You had one job, to be my fucking mother and protect me, and you over here letting him do whatever. So now you can see how controlling he was. Obviously, he was controlling her. I guess he paid bills and stuff. I don't really know how that works, but like I said, my mom was very secretive. She never really told me anything, so I didn't know. I just know that I did not like him at all. It was just like a lot of situations like that just brought us apart. So eventually, there was a point where my mom got tired of me telling my dad everything and getting yelled at for it or whatever. Like, you're a grown-ass woman, how are you getting yelled at? But anyways, she decided, okay, I'm about to tell her dad what she's doing, which I swear, y'all, I was a good kid. Like, all I wanted to do was do my work, come home from school, and go outside and play. Like, nothing less, nothing more. So she would fabricate the stories. Like, what happened would have happened, but she'll twist it a little bit. To this day, when I asked my dad about it, he was like, I'm so sorry for... Look, I'm gonna get into that in a second. But she would tell him stuff, and then my dad would start getting on me And like I told y'all, I was a daddy's girl. I talked to him about everything. I read him my diaries. Like, I would read him my diaries. And so when she started doing that, he was looking at me like, oh, you a bad child and I'm not in your life. So I'm about to try to put you in your place. Because my mom was like, you need to be a dad. You need to step up and be a father. She's being bad and this, that, the third. When in all reality, now that I think about it, it's because her boyfriends didn't like me and she wasn't trying to lose them, I guess. She would like tell him stuff about me and my dad would get on me, and then I was like, fuck, now I don't got nobody to talk to. So there was this one time, I'm just gonna briefly tell you this story because it's getting too long, but there was this one time they told me that I was going on vacation to Chicago, and I was like, yes, because like I told y'all, I love Chicago. I love being around my dad and my sister. And when I got there, I was like, okay, I love you, bye, like, bye. She was like, I'm gonna miss you. And I was like, girl, this is only a week, what did you talk about? Then it was like, no, this is permanent. And I was like, what? At the time, I had a boyfriend too, which they did not like, and my mom tried to use that against me and stuff. It was just all over the place. But I was so bad. I just hated both of them. Like, I was throwing stuff, and my dad was like so evil, y'all. Like, there was a time where he like smashed my phone, shattered it. Like, I couldn't talk to anybody. He confiscated my iPod, and then when he was sleeping, I went to go grab it, and then he woke up and he was like, "Where's the iPod?" I ran into the bathroom. He was banging on the. I think I'll save that for another video because it gets deep. But basically, like, it was bad. I ended up running away. I was on an Amber Alert and I ran to my boyfriend's mom, and it was a lot. So I think I'll tell y'all a different story. But so that's how me and my dad got into it. Now that I'm older, he was like, yeah, Vanessa, like, that wasn't me. Like, I'm so sorry, like, what happened and how I was, but your mom was putting all the blame on me. She was making it seem like you was a bad kid, and I didn't want no bad kid, and I'm not there. And mind y'all, my mom never put him on child support. I think when she did, it was only like $20. So I guess my dad went into like protecting his own self basically, and like stepping in so my mom wouldn't like put him on child support or whatever, or ask for a lot of money or take him to court or whatever. So he was just doing him, I guess. But anyway, I didn't like her, and she obviously didn't like me. There was a time where we ended up getting into a fight. She scratched me. I had like a big cut on my collarbone because she asked me a question, and like I said, I wasn't talking back. I was just like, I think I did. I think I got tired and I said something smart, and then I was like, I don't got time for this, and I tried to walk away, and she like tried to grab me and like scratch me so hard it was like meat deep, and I was bleeding and stuff, and I was just upstairs crying. I went to my room. I was just crying. I was like, what is life like? I was trying to think suicidal, but at the same time my senses came in and I was like, this hurt. Like, I think I actually grabbed the blade and I tried to like put it across my wrist, and I was like, oh no, this hurt too much. I don't know how people could do it. Like, this is too much. So I just never did that, but I was just always like, never cared if I died type stuff. I just didn't understand why she was like this towards me. Like, I'm a good kid. And then when she did that, I went back to school, and the security at my school was like cool with me, and when I walked into school, I had it covered. Like, I covered it, the cut that my mom gave me, but the security guard knew that something was different with me this day, because I'm usually all like joyful and happy and stuff. And she's like, what's wrong? And you know, like, you're okay when you're by yourself, but as soon as somebody tries to baby you, and you be like, what's wrong? Like, are you okay? You just can't control anymore. You just start crying. That's what happened to me. I was so scared to say anything, because no matter what happens to me, I always try to downplay it like it's nothing. So I'd be like, no, like, I'm just overreacting. Like, I didn't want to tell her, but eventually, like, she got it out of me. So I told them what happened, and they was like, okay, that's cool. I was like, okay, nothing's gonna happen, right? She was like, no. Next thing you know, CPS is at my house. It's a whole case. And long story short, they tried to ask me if I wanted to press charges, and I was like, no, like, I don't want that. Like, this is way bigger than it needs to be. Like, my mom got adopted. My mom got kids, and to this day she still says that I called CPS on them. So the school ended up calling CPS. I shut it down because I didn't want it to go any further. That is like the summed up before I got kicked out. That was like a little bit of information, you feel me? Okay, so I got kicked out when I was 17, and she was with her last boyfriend that I was telling y'all about that pushed me up the stairs and stuff, the drunk. So I'm using Pure Sculptor for the highlighter. The boyfriend did not like me, and he was determined to telling me to leave. My mom always, since I was like 15, was like, oh, I can't wait till you're 18, you're out of here. And I'd be like, oh, I can't wait either. Like, you know, as a teenager, y'all going through some stuff. Everybody be like, I can't wait till I'm 18. Next thing you know, my 18th birthday comes around. My 17th birthday came around. And a couple months before that, my mom was like, I can't wait until it's time to get out. Like, she's been looking into it. Like, can you kick your kids out at 17? And I was trying to look it up, and I couldn't find anything legit enough to tell me if you could kick them out or not. So my 17th birthday comes around, and I'm not excited about it. So she don't say nothing about it, and I try to stay away from her, like dodge her, so you know nothing pops off. It was unavoidable. Like, we lived in the same house. Old boy lived there. Like, he didn't like me either. So it was the smallest thing too. Somebody said something, either her or her boyfriend, and I was like, okay, I'll do it when I come back. And she was like, no, like, you gotta do it now. And I was like, Mom, like, that's not fair. Like, I'm never here anyways. Like, I think it was like clean the dishes or something. I was like, I'm never here. Like, why don't you have the other kids do it? You act like they're handicapped. So I ended up going with my friends after like the mall or the movies or wherever I went, and I didn't come home because, mind you, my friend stood 10 houses away from my mom. And I just texted my mom. I was like, hey, I'm staying at my friend's house. I'll be there in the morning to finish whatever. Mind you, my mom goes to sleep early. The whole house goes to sleep early. So I was like, whatever. So my mom texted me. She was like, don't bother, come back. Good luck, I love you. Straight like that. So I was like, are you serious, bro? Are you dead ass? Straight like that. I was scared to go back to my house because I was like, well, obviously I need my clothes. My friend was like, you can stay here. And I didn't like this situation because of, I'll say that for the next video, but I went to go to my house when I didn't see my mom's car there. And so I went there, and while I was grabbing my things, my mom and her boyfriend pulled up, and my heart was beating. And I was like, I do not want to see them. Like, this is so awkward. I don't want nobody to say anything. You said what you said, and I'm leaving. Like, my plan was to never tell her where I was. I didn't want her to know. I wanted her to worry. Like, as a mother, you would think a mother would worry about their child. You feel me? So I grabbed my stuff, and like, I'm packing it. And my sister, my little sister Gracia, remember I told y'all she's like super attached to me. She's like crying. She's like, where are you going? She was like too young to understand. So I'm not about to just pour out all of this stuff on her. Like, I think she was only 6. And then my mom called her downstairs. My sister told her that I was upstairs. I like stopped what I was doing to like eavesdrop. My mom was basically like, oh no, I'm gonna just tell her to stay. Like, I feel really bad. Like, trying to come up with excuses, because that's her biggest thing. She comes up with excuses for everything. Like, and if that one don't work, she comes up with another one to this day. But anyway, her boyfriend was like, hell no. Like, no, she not staying. She need to get out. She real bold. She's disrespectful. She need to go. Let her go out into the real world and let her fail. That's his exact words. I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely leaving now. Like, even if she says that I'm leaving, like, dramatic exit, I gotta go. So I get my stuff and I leave. She was like, where you going, honey? And I was like, I don't know. And I just left. Then I went to my friend's house. Boom, that's the end of the story. So yeah, that's the end of this story. I'm going to continue it and tell y'all my friend's house, how it went there, and what was going around then. I hope this video wasn't too long, but if you stood to the end, what's good? I love you so much. Mwah. Let me know if you guys are interested in me doing like different parts for like every different house that I went to. The second part should be coming soon, depending on how this video does. If you guys really enjoyed it, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. It's not so much hard talking about, but at the same time, it just like brings back those memories, and like the hate kind of reminds me, lets me know where I came from, you feel me? So it's kind of good for me. But yeah, I love you so much, Vanessa Gang, and I'll see you in my next video.